Hi folks, welcome to the GSP podcast. Something different today, kind of a one-on-one interview with the main man here, Ger Buckley. Ger, tell us about yourself.
Hey guys, just a quick plug before we go further. This will be like a time capsule as we're before the Irish Strength Cup, which is on this Saturday. So I'd like to just say congratulations to myself for winning it. Thank you. And commiserations to Killian. But yes, my name is Ger Buckley, Jercules, Ireland's second strongest man and Irish Strength Cup winner. I am a former powerlifter, semi-retired and a strongman. I train in abs powerlifting and GSP, not HQ, what we call it, GSP 2.0.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
2.0. I started lifting when I was 17 in a hotel gym in Spain, and the rest is history.
So that was supposed the next thing is, where did it all come from? You started in a hotel gym in Spain.
Yeah.
Were you living in Spain or?
No, we were there for 2 weeks, family holiday, and I just went to the gym. I don't even know what pushed me go. Like, I would have done a lot of body weight stuff like pull-ups, push-ups with football training and other sports, tennis, bit of rugby. But actually, like, touching weight, dumbbells, plates, bars, yeah, it was that hotel gym. I think I originally went in to use the sauna and just the swimming pool, and then I saw the gym. It was actually a very nice gym, in fairness. I remember the plates were so shiny, the place was clean, so I was like, oh, give it a go. Grew up obviously watching Predator, those kind of movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger, where you're like trying to get into good shape. So yeah, but it's just, for some reason, I was only when I was 17. I know other guys started when they're like 14, 13.
So was that you hooked basically from that day?
Yeah, it was actually. I actually grew, in fairness, I put on size really quickly. So naturally, I was quite skinny, quite thin. I think when I was 16, I was actually 6 foot when I was 16, 17. I got a growth spurt there, but I would have weighed like 55 kilo. I was thin.
Okay, right.
But as soon as I joined the gym, and actually the hotel had a buffet as well, so I had 2 weeks of weights, sun and buffet, all you can eat.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I must have put on 15 kilo in those 2 weeks. Now, obviously, it would have been a bit of fat too
and
there.
Water retention.
And water retention. And then when I went back to school after the summer, everyone's like accusing me of being on gear. There's me not knowing what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I left school when I was 18, finished secondary school, took a year out before I went to college. And I remember when I went to college, one of the guys that was signing everyone up just looked at me and was like, "You must have been the biggest man I've ever seen." And I was like 115 kilo in college.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and it's funny, ironically, I'm not that much bigger now today, so there's been a lot of years
just
where
stopped,
I just stopped. So yeah, but that was it. Yeah, and then with college, then there was a gym next to DIT where I trained, Raw Gym. It was actually a fantastic gym back in the day. Had powerlifters, had a bit of strongman kit. A lot of bodybuilders were there. Guys like Kevin Levrone would come over for guest talk. Tommy Staunton would have trained there, would have worked there.
Is that the gym that Tautas Lallis owned or co-owned?
That was Animal Barbell. I was a member of that after. Yeah, that was 2015, 16. He had actually vacated and someone else took over. I think his business partner took over then fully. But yeah, that was 2016 I joined Animal Barbell. And that was a great gym as well. All the strongman kit had gone though when Lalas left, so it was mostly just powerlifting. But that was a bit of my powerlifting era, 2015 to 18.
So 2015, what are you, about 22, 23 at the time?
23, yeah. 23.
And is that when you started like touching with strongman equipment, or so I suppose you done Ireland's Strongest Juniors?
Yeah,
as well.
that's where we met. Ireland's Strongest Man.
You know,
2013.
what's funny about that? I didn't know you had done that comp until about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When I think you reshared the photo, and I was like, "Holy shit, that was Ger the whole time."
Yeah. They wouldn't believe I was 23. I was 21 that comp. They wouldn't believe it. I gave them my passport, and they were like, "Have you got something else?" I was like, "What do you want?" Like a birth certificate.
Had you trained strongman up until that point at all, or did you just jump into it?
I couldn't for the life of me get a tractor tire in Dublin. There was literally none to practice on. It was like the skinny ones that were pointless. So the extent of it was I had a trap bar to do farmer walks, and I found a stone by the beach. It might have been only like 70, 80 kilo, and I did Hoosfell carries with it. that was the extent of it.
Sounds very similar to what I was doing back then as well.
Yeah.
You're just making do what you can find literally around you.
So for that competition, I was actually doing my prep in Westwood, Clontarf.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I was in Westwood, Clontarf. Another, like, at its on its day, it was a great gym, but just unfortunately, as years go by, change of ownership, gyms just lose it. I get it in a way, like they're obviously trying to appeal to Gen Pop, but like there was a period there where it was actually very, very good for strength athletes.
Okay.
Like the dumbbells went up to 80, 90 kilo, which was actually quite rare back then, 2013, 2014. VTech trained there.
Okay.
That's where I first met VTech. He did Abs Pro.
Unfortunately, like gyms like that, they're looking at Gen Pop and they're trying to get more people in. And
That's where
it's not
money is.
appealing for Gen Pop to get in to a gym where people like us are in there. Scaring them out.
The main goal, like from being involved for so long now, the main goal of a gym is to have as many members not actually come or show up to the gym. So they just have that ongoing rolling memberships. It's the easiest life for them. So that's it. Whereas powerlifters and strongmen always show up.
Always show
and
up.
wreck
And wreck your gym and leave it in a mess and break everything.
But yeah, that's a quick snippet of the journey.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure from there you mostly did powerlifting after that Ireland's Strongest Junior for years, right?
I met Eamon as well at that camp.
So,
Eamon Harford.
Lead us down that path there. You went to Lech Barbell, I'm assuming, or were you in Boyneside as well?
Boyneside first. Okay. Yeah, Eamon was a coach in Boyneside. Actually, again, another fantastic gym. I was very lucky. Every gym I was a member of, I was there during like its peak, and Boyneside had the strongman kit, Atlas Stones, had all the mono powerlifting, a lot of Westside kit, the first time I seen reverse hyper, an actual reverse hyper,
and the
back
pendulum
attack,
things, everything.
belt squat, it was unreal. It really was.
I remember seeing it the first time going, oh my God, it's like heaven.
Yeah, it genuinely was. Yeah, it really was. And in fairness to the owner, Dean Gartland, like he put a lot of effort into that gym. But yeah, that's where I met Eamon. We did a conjugate style training. I think I was with Eamon for the guts of a year. And with Eamon, I squatted 250, benched 152. Funny enough, my bench was like my best lift back then. Not many people bench over 150 their first comp. And I pulled 270. So decent numbers.
That was your first powerlifting meet?
Yeah.
They're decent
the first full power. Yeah.
They're pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
So it was the start. Most people go the other way. They start in powerlifting and go to strongman, but you kind of actually started in strongman.
Yeah, one comp strongman, and then I would have done probably 8 or 9 powerlifting comps then after that with various feds.
What stopped you from doing strongman back then and going to powerlifting? Because I went powerlifting strongman, but then went back to powerlifting.
Yeah.
For me, it was access to kit was a massive part of it.
Yeah.
What was it for you?
So I knew I would be better at strongman because I picked things up quicker. Like the tire flip, I wasn't actually bad at it, having never touched it before. I think I flipped it like 4 or 5 times. Now look, I wasn't, compared to the other lads that had been training it, I wasn't, they were better. But I was like, give me a couple of training sessions on that, I get a lot better. Farmer walks, again, grip was solid. I've always just had decent grip, even without like specifically training it. But I realised my deadlift numbers were quite low compared to the other lads, and just general strength. I also needed to get bigger. I thought I was big until I seen some of the guys that day, and like Sean O'Hagan, 6'11". Yourself, you were like 120 or 115
like 115 at
your height, like massive.
I was a little brick.
Yeah, man, a big brick.
Big brick.
Yeah, and then Eamon himself, Eamon was 130. Like I was the smallest guy there.
Yeah.
So I think I chose powerlifting because I knew there was weight classes, and I suppose with powerlifting it's kind of your own race. You're just beating what you did last time. Whereas with strongman, it's a proper competition, and you're just trying to beat everyone else. Whereas with powerlifting, there's other scopes to being competitive within yourself.
Yeah.
So I took the powerlifting route. And I had friends too that did powerlifting in various gyms, obviously that I was a member of, that I mentioned. I met more powerlifters than strongmen, so I was like, I'll give powerlifting a go and see where that goes. And I thought at the end of the day, strongman will always be there if I want to go back to it. So, and then a couple of years passed by, I did some comps with the IPO, AIPO, and then it was after Worlds. I came third at Worlds in 2018, That was summer, and then Eamon goes to me. Eamon had been prepping for a strongman comp, and he goes, "Oh, I'm doing GSP." That was the first time I heard of it. I was like, "Oh yeah, where's that?" He's at Galway. He's like, "There's a competition. It's prize money." He told me the events. He goes, "I think you'd be pretty good at it. We do it as an off season." I was like, "All right, fair enough." And then I went up for a training session about 3 weeks before the comp, I think it was, just to familiarise myself with the kit again, because I hadn't touched strongman since then. So I think we were doing like axle press, Atlas stones. I think I did a 140 stone my first time, and just missed 150. Axle pressed 120, and it was the deadlift that was the weakness because I had a bad lower back injury going into that competition. So I actually just showed up. I didn't really want to do the comp because my back was really bad. But I was like, look, I had the hype, the adrenaline from Worlds. I was like, that was a nice achievement. Let's just see what happens, you know. So I showed up. Me and Eamon rocked down to Galway. I remember it was a freezing cold December night. I ended up coming second. And I was like, I re-injured my back obviously on the deadlift, but the other events went really well. I almost won it, didn't though. But it was good. I was like, oh, it's not, you know, for having not really trained strongman, I was like, clearly the powerlifting paid off. If I just healed this back.
Well, you seem to have you're quite athletic naturally. So you can just take to the movement events without having to do much of them.
Yeah, there was a sandbag max carry. And
did you win that?
Genuinely didn't train at all. Yeah, I won it. I could have kept going the whole night. Yeah, it wasn't too heavy. I think it was like 110 or 100 bag, but it's grand. Yeah, there's some events. Like thing with strongman is there's guys that are just naturally good at events without even training. The same with powerlifting. Like there's guys that just take to it so well. I suppose it's just finding what you're good at. Well, not only what you're good at, but what you enjoy doing. And like, not many people enjoy running with a sandbag, but I actually like it. So if that's the guts of strongman, you know, the carrying events, whereas you don't get that in powerlifting. So I was like, so then I stayed for strongman for a year then after that comp.
Were you still in Lake at that point?
No, Lake folded in 2018. Sorry, beg your pardon. No, Lake would have closed that following year. So I actually moved on from Lake because I wasn't doing powerlifting anymore. I said to Eamon, I'm just doing strongman. So I actually met up with Richard Looney and I joined Monster Gym Carlow, which was another phenomenal gym.
Were you driving up and down there regular to train?
Every Saturday I would have drove, an hour and a half up, an hour and a half back every Saturday. Myself, David Chowla, Patrick, O'Cara, and one or two other lads. Fantastic facility. We had a really good training crew. Now we may have gone a bit balls to the wall on many sessions. There wasn't much direction to the programming, but we did pretty well. Like there was some savage lifts done, and we all in comps. A few of us did pretty well in comps. During even the fact we had no coach, we were all just kind of helping each other as like a little crew. That was my favorite training period, 2019.
Were you training in a commercial gym then in Dublin during the week and then travelling down on the
actually I joined Southside Strength and Fitness in Sandyford. Again, another good gym. Just seemed to find. I just got very lucky.
Well, you're also willing to travel, Ger, which I think is a big thing.
A
lot of people are not willing to do that.
So I was living on the south of Dublin, so the Southside Fitness place was only like 15-minute drive. And then I take the motorway to Carlow on Saturday. So between the two, I had a great facilities. I had Eamon give me a little bit of direction on the overhead, but for the rest of the events, I was doing my own thing. Did okay. I think I competed 6 times that year. I think I beat you that year too. Remember that Monaghan?
Oh, was that the year Monaghan?
That's the year Monaghan. You were strong that day, man. Remember you pressed 130.
I'm not afraid to say I'm not. I was never the greatest strongman, like.
And you did a really good run on the Atlas stones. I think I had to.
I finished it.
It was 20. It was 22 seconds. I had to beat 22 seconds, 5 stones, to win. Because there was only 3 of us. Oh, there was 4 of us, but the other 2 lads would have been a little lower. So it was like just me and you.
I think we had 2 apiece. Did we go into that?
2 apiece going into stones. Very exciting. I hate comps like that where like you win by just a point. Margin for error is so small. But that was 2019. So it was actually a great year for me. That was my favourite.
Why back to powerlifting then? Because you were going good.
Yeah, I found that. I was going good actually. Funny enough, I finished off 2019. I did so it's 6. Actually, might even been 7 comps. I finished 2019 coming second at the Cerberus Cup. That would have been your last one before lockdown happened.
Yeah.
But then the week after, actually, sorry, I did the Giants Live qualifier, which was very last minute. I just wanted to do it just to see where I stood, because I was like, oh, I had a great year, everything's been going so well. Let's just see where. Like, now, obviously, I didn't prep any of the events, or I wasn't doing any training specifically for it. But I came 7th, and that really kind of killed the air in my wings there. I was like, oh.
Would you not have used a bit of common sense though at that point?
know,
I mean, like,
but
I didn't train for this. It's
yeah.
also crazy heavy.
Yeah, see, I did.
You're a natural athlete as well, which you know,
that all went out the door. I just like 7.
you didn't use your brain.
No, I was just like, oh man, what's the point? I was like, when it comes to it with the top guys, because it was a savage lineup. Robert Clark, Pat himself, Matt McCoy, Big V. Who else was there? There's a load of guys there that were just a lot better than I was, and I was just kind of like
6 of them anyway.
Well, 6 of them, well, 5. One, the guy who finished ahead of me wasn't that much better. But then abs, I got a message from Jay, and he was talking. He's like, oh, so when are you joining? And he was like saying, you know, just come down and just see what you think. So I went down and trained, and I had a blast. Funnily enough, my first session there was doing strongman. He had an old yoke. The thing was like a makeshift yoke.
Okay,
I threw like 300 on it, but it's so funny. I have a video of it, me like shaking under it. The thing looks like it's gonna snap. I think I was the only person to do strongman in that gym. But yeah, so I just ended up doing the powerlifting program. I never actually had a coach at abs. I just jumped on. There's like a kind of template program that you do that you run yourself. And so my previous powerlifting total was 742 with aiming, and then the 2020, my first abs comp, I did 782. I got 40 kilo.
You were just running the template.
Just running the template. My squat.
Do you think was it the program or was it the environment?
Oh,
maybe?
it's the environment, 100%. Like I'm squatting. I remember the day lockdown happened. No, is this incriminating me or not? The day lockdown happened.
No one cares about that anymore.
Yeah. Wild time. Myself, Jake, and Ben did a mock meet, because we were meant to actually compete that weekend, and lockdown happened, so we did our own mock meet. And Jake squatted 420 that day with just 2 spotters. 3 spotters, sorry. Joe the Beard was there. So
which,
me,
if
Ben,
goes
and Joe
wrong
the
quickly,
Beard.
you're not going to do fuck all.
Well, yeah,
try.
probably not. We can try.
Yeah.
420. It was,
Wow.
and it was the best I had ever moved. It was lightning fast. Ben Crockwell did 325, I want to say, and I did 295. Then we did bench, and then the guard showed up, so we couldn't deadlift. So there's a great story during lockdown where we try and get over to Monster Gym, and Jake wants to finish his total. Now, obviously, it's not same day. It's like 2 weeks later. Jake's like, I need to deadlift. So Ben was like, no, I'm not going. But we had to go to Ben's house up in the mountains to get Jake's belt, because he'd borrowed it.
Okay. Right.
Then we had to go back to abs and get a deadlift bar. Then we went over to Monster Gym. And to this day, I think it's the most Jake's ever pulled. I think it was 360.
With his,
raw. No, with his bare hand. Yeah, with his little mittens. 360. But yeah, what a wild time. We were there stopping at every guarded checkpoint with a fucking deadlift bar.
How do you explain that one?
Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah.
Just go back to something you said earlier, Ger. I asked you, was it the template that made you stronger, or was it the environment?
Yeah, the environment.
How important do you think the environment is here at the likes of abs or GSP or anywhere else someone might go to train for someone to get stronger and get the most out of themselves?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is there's someone stronger than you. If you're the strongest guy in your gym, you should probably move, as they say.
It's difficult though when you're like Jake Brennan or Killian
Yeah,
Bloom
but then that's true. But even with Jake, like Jake wasn't always the biggest puller. There was always another guy that had a big, and he didn't have the biggest bench because there was Barry Pigott.
Yeah.
But guys that can push you.
Yeah.
And you can learn things from. Because even Jake, like there was guys like Ben, for example, he could learn Ben's his accessory work rate. Like Ben put on like a lot of muscle, so you'd obviously be wondering, what's he doing for his accessories, and or this guy's never been injured, what's he doing, and still like maintaining high performance levels. So you could always learn something. It may not necessarily be like total strength, environment for me was key, because there was always someone that was doing more than me. Like it was so disheartening when you'd hit your new max on squat, and then all of a sudden I'm putting on like 2 reds either side for Jake for his last one.
Yeah.
Like the day, like, and he's repping it, but it kept you humble. But no, it was great. Like there'd be periods there. So as lockdown eased off, we started training more and more. After a session here on a Sunday, we go off to the beach and do a few swims, play a bit of football on the sand. So it was like there was a good camaraderie there, good circle. I think it was Abs 7. We had a fantastic group. It was like myself, Ian, Grant, Jake, Brick, Fionn, Ben, Eamon, load of us, every one of us smashed that comp. Like everyone had a fantastic performance. So there was no coincidence that it was our best preps together. Like everyone's just pushing each other and
That's
encouraging.
a serious crew, in fairness.
Yeah, well, I think everyone had like a 450 plus formula, whatever.
Yeah.
750 plus totals, 800 actually. I think nearly everyone. I was just lucky. Just found the crew. So I think that's gone back to why you asked why I went back to powerlifting. It was just so because like when I was training strongman, the community was quite small. Like I kind of actually had to force it to happen.
Yeah.
Going to Carlow, going to other areas just to like make it happen. There was no like what we have today. That just didn't exist unless I moved to Galway. But the wife wasn't having it. So I was like,
that was something you were seriously considering.
Yeah, Galway. Genuinely, there was a period there during lockdown. We almost did move over. But Abs was the next best thing. It was close to my house, and I've been friends with a few guys already. Jay, when you get to know Jay, he's a great man.
He is.
He has great ideas, great plans for the sport. So I just bought into it, and it's as I go back to saying, it's what you're good at. If you enjoy it, you'll get better at. So I just enjoy training here, and yeah.
Good. I suppose that'll lead nicely into the Abs series. And what for you makes the Abs series so special, or separates it from everything else in powerlifting in Ireland? And I suppose further than that, then what can strongman learn from it? Because it is, for me, it looks like it's way ahead of everything else that powerlifting do, or any other powerlifting fed in Ireland.
I think
you're deep in, like, so what are you seeing?
I've done, how many have I done? I've done 4 of them, but I've been present for nearly all of them.
And you're part of the background build up and everything as well.
The big thing for me, why it took off so well, or the success, was like the individuality of each comp. Like there's like I can remember the mono that was used for every Ab series. I'm sure most people can too. Like the one that we had the Hulk, the one we had the Terminator, the wrestling themed one. And there's like a story with each one. It's like, oh, that's the one where Luke lost by 0.3 dots.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one, Boris came out of nowhere. And so every one of them has a story, every Abs comp. There's always competition. It may not be in the female division as of late. Denise was, running away with it, which was still fantastic to see her performance, but you always want like head to head. But I think we've been lucky in the male division. I think every single Abs pro, even the one where Boris won, there's always that what if. And I suppose even the fact that Boris won just made like anything can happen in Abs.
Yeah.
So that's just the nature of the comp, and then obviously the organisation. Jay's lucky that he has one of the best media guys, Mark Stell, and of course Mario. He's got the best spotting crew that just seem to like fall on his lap. Perfect top table, shop assistants, like people that work the shop there. Like everything for him just seems to fall into place. So we always wonder, like, could this actually be replicated? You'll see other federation or competitions try to invite the same athletes, do the same kind of posters and media, but it's just not going to be the same. Like, and I'm biased, but I can tell you, it'll never be replicated. When you see everything, all the cogs, all the wheels involved, yeah. So there's a look involved for sure.
Yeah.
Just the right people at the right time.
I suppose by creating what he's created in Abs and the environment and the community he's created, he's probably been able to just pick these people off.
Well, that's it. I mean, fortune favours the brave as well. Like, he took a lot of risks. Like, there was a period there where people thought Abs comps would be no more. Back in 2018, there was obviously a bit of risk, what happened. Basically, there was like, without getting too into it, but people were trying to cancel Jay.
Yeah.
And just to see how he's turned that around. So, as I said, fortune favours the brave. Having the balls to be able to stand up and I'm just going to keep doing my thing. Like, he lost sponsorship deals. He lost a lot of money,
Lost
but he
business
still
too.
kept going.
It's SPD, right?
Yeah. There's this picture. It's like two guys digging a tunnel, and it's like one guy just stops right before the diamond and turns around, whereas the other guy keeps digging. Jay's the guy that just keeps digging, and he found the gold. But what you can take, so you're saying how strongman could take inspiration, like you're doing really well with taking inspiration for like the competitions. The media is key, like it's because people need to be aware of what's happening. Live stream, it always starts with the live stream, and then athletes building up battles, something that people can invest in. You always want a hero and a villain. That's storylines. And then the caliber of athlete, of course, but the standard of the events and the head-to-head battle going to the last event. Like with Abs Pro, nearly every comp has been won on the last pull or last two pulls. There's always that what if, as I said, and it's just exciting. Even if you're not into powerlifting, you can watch it and get deep in.
Because I'm typically someone who says powerlifting's boring to watch, but I love coming to the Abs Pro meets and the Abs. The Clash of the Titans was unbelievable here. When was that? May or something? April. It was class. I love coming here. So it's so different to all the other powerlifting.
It's the way it's packaged as well. Like that's one thing Jay did, is shorten the duration of a meet. And you saying with your strongman comps are the quickest I've ever been involved with. But it means the audience are totally engaged.
The athletes sometimes hate it. You've asked me to slow things down before. I remember that.
Yeah, probably.
And you're not the only one. Like everybody does, particularly in the open categories. But I just want to keep it moving.
Yeah, you're ironically you're probably less likely to get injured when it moves that fast. So you're not sitting around. You're warm. So but the same with the Abs comps. I think the quickest it ever was. The whole meet was done in 2 hours 45 minutes. I think that was the Clash one. And I was saying to him, you could get like a TV deal. You could do, say like Strongman has with RTE. That'd probably be the next thing. Get it like big sponsors and get it out to the mass audience.
It's got a quick enough turnaround that he can do that. Like,
it really does.
Jeez, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, never say never.
No,
it would be game changing. Yeah, I think the WPO, the big high equipped meets, they were covered by Eurosport, I want to say at one period, and Strongman obviously.
That was about 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, and then a good few years back too. And then I think channels like Dave like to cover kind of like extreme sports. I'm sure they have some funding amount that they can allocate for. But he just has to. I think there's potential.
Absolutely.
Maybe like a little Netflix documentary.
Because
the story, genuinely like the stories from here, I wouldn't be able to get it. I wouldn't be able to do it justice on a podcast, but like sitting down with Jay, and imagine if you could do a documentary with him about abs in its entirety, it'd be a very interesting watch.
Jay, the funny thing about Jay is he doesn't really talk too much about it, does he? He just builds up the athletes and he builds up the meets, but he doesn't.
That's another pro to abs. Is like a lot of professional powerlifting comps in America, the promoter always tries to use it as a spotlight, I find. This is my opinion on it. Whereas with Jay, he's always behind the curtain. It's like it's always the athletes who are promoted. Like it's to such an extent where people thought I was the guy that ran abs. Like
really?
Yeah, they go, oh, you're the guy that does the abs comps. So I was there. Will I go with this or
Yeah, on me.
But that's why sometimes Jay would be like, here, ease off with the memes because I think you're but that just shows how like he stayed behind the black curtain for so long, which is a great thing because when people think of abs, they just literally think of the competition, not the promoter, which I think is a huge in any sport. It's all about the
competition and the athletes.
Well, that's it. That's basically what you're doing it for. Yeah.
The memes.
Yeah.
What's with the memes? Everyone's going to want to know what's the why behind the memes. Is it just fun? Are you actually like trying to be a bit of a, I don't know, trying to get under people's skin? Are you trying to do right by them?
For me,
by calling people out?
I think it was 2018. I was in a group chat, WhatsApp group chat, and I've like a big movie-based knowledge. Like I've seen practically every movie under the sun.
You remember everything about them too, don't you?
Everything. Yeah. But for me, I can always relate. So even growing up as a kid, if something happened, I go, oh, that reminds me of X movie. But with the memes, it started me basically taking movie scenes and just using that to describe a scenario or whatever. And then from there, it went on to, just general wide memes. I think it comes from just, for me, it's a bit like art, like putting it together and just the kind of, and obviously, I suppose, making people laugh, like growing up in class in school, like that was always, I suppose maybe I was the class clown. But yeah, I think it depends on the day. Some day you'll probably see like 30 different memes, and other days there's nothing. It's just a bit of creativity, I think. A bit of boredom, maybe.
Are you trying to get under people's skin? Are you trying to like?
Not really. I suppose
make powerlifting and strongman a better place. What is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've noticed over the years people either love it or hate it. There's genuinely nothing in the middle. For me, like people come over and say, "Oh, the only reason why I watched this comp or is just because of the memes." They just wanted to see like, do I back up my bullshit or whatever? Or either way, I suppose it's fun. Some people take it very bad, but for them, like genuinely, it's not from a place of hate or it's for me, it's just having a laugh. But again, with comedy, the line can always be straddled a bit. Yeah. So I put my hand up for times where I'm like, okay, yeah, that went far, or that wasn't. It didn't come across as intended. With the strongman, if I do it before a competition, again, the main goal is to build up the hype of a comp. Like for me, the only reason why I do comps is just for, I suppose, spotlight is one thing, like having people watch you do it. I mean, I wonder how many people would be on Instagram posting all their lifts and everything if people weren't watching, if you're in the gym just to lift.
No, nobody.
Yeah, well, that's, but that's sport, that's everything in life. Like, you're not going to do something if no one cares. Which is sad in a way, but it's just like the life we live in. But with the memes, it's building a platform for the comp, because I see the effort that you put in and the effort Jay puts in, and I like to kind of complement that with adding a bit of entertainment. Yeah. And look, if it's taken well, fantastic. Again, it's 50-50. Some people love it, some hate it.
From my side of things, I love it when people, and I'm sure Jay loves it too, when people start doing stuff like that, the back and forth, the memes, because it builds the competition. Yeah. And there's more chat about the comp then. It's like, did you see this about the comp, and you see that about the comp? Yeah. See, the boys are going at each other. Like, I think it's brilliant.
Well, the reason why Luke Tallman even did his first Abs Pro was because of memes. Yeah. It's genuinely the memes that got him. Like, he even said that. He was like, the only reason why I went over was because...
To prove you wrong?
Yeah, well, a lot of people say that too. But like a lot of the British guys, before Abs really went like global, they would have noticed it first by me calling someone out and being like, "Oh, this guy's not doing abs."
Brilliant.
PC squats high. But that was genuinely. And then like Tom Martin's girlfriend came over and she was like, just wanted to prove me wrong. I was like, fantastic. I'll happily eat that humble pie.
That's brilliant.
Because I love seeing like the fact that Ireland is like soon to be hopefully the mecca for powerlifting and strongman. Yeah. To a degree, like with the strongman, like if we can get pro comps. People coming over, it's obviously the goal of the Irish Strength Cup. Yeah. And for me, I think like Abs Pro is the best powerlifting competition you could do. Like, I know, again, I'm biased, but from seeing everything that's going on, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do this comp, given how much effort that's put in.
If you look at even what's coming up over the next while, so you're going to have the Abs Pro, the Irish Strength Cup this weekend, then the Abs Pro, then Natural Worlds the week after the Abs Pro, where people from 19 countries are coming as well.
Yeah, massive.
Like, we're a tiny country, and look what's happening here. Like, it's amazing. So if we can keep the ball rolling at it, it's class. Yeah. Just keep doing your thing.
Yeah. But like I mean, massive things can happen. Like, I'm only watching, I don't know if you're following the Copa America at the moment, the football.
I'm not.
But Uruguay could be into the final against Argentina.
Okay.
But it's the same population as us, like
really?
4 or 5 million. It's made Iceland, population of 300,000. Considered the most accomplished strength sport country. It's amazing with the right people what can be achieved, quality over quantity, strength in numbers, but if there's just a lot of strength, so like Jay, yourself, like Jay's Welsh, he feels Irish.
He's not even Irish.
He's not even Irish.
I was born in America.
You were born in America, but the two pioneers of Irish strength sports. But yeah, we're quite fortunate. I think this is really the golden era of lifting. Like I was saying earlier, how I've been very fortunate to find like great gyms. Like I've been fortunate that any time in my journey, I've seemed to be at the right moment. Yeah. Even if that doesn't feel like it at the time, like I could have avoided that shoulder snap there at Ultimate Strongman. But if I didn't do that comp, I wouldn't have done Ultimate Ireland's and We know what happened after. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just riding this wave. Very lucky to be involved with
hopefully
this.
People keep thinking that golden age is now for the next.
Well,
we just keep building on it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like the seeds are planted now, so it just depends on. I know the Abs Academy. He's really pushing. There's been some fantastic young lifters that I've seen over the years disappear, but there's the ones that keep going. Yeah. So it just depends. You know, you will lose great lifters. That just happens.
And that's every sport as well.
It's in every sport, of course, for various reasons. Life, injury,
career,
in
whatever.
between. Yeah. Career is a big one, yeah. So it's just the amount that you can retain of that percentage-wise. If that keeps going up, you're more likely to keep the ball rolling. But he's doing the best he can. Like, I don't really think there's much more other than just bigger venues.
Yeah.
Better lineups, but other than that, maybe bigger prize money. But
people that hate your memes or people that get upset with you, does it bother you when you see people that are clearly upset with you? Do you care? Because you've been threatened plenty, haven't you?
Oh yeah, lawsuits.
Does that bother you even, or do you just brush it all off?
No, I brush it all off because usually I always found in life it's the guy that doesn't say anything and just shows up that you got to be worried about. But the guy that's saying like, "Oh, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that," like then you know.
Yeah. Have you ever had a moment where you're at a comp and you're like, I need to watch my back here, I'm actually kind of scared? Not even that you're scared, but you're worried someone might give you a sly dig from behind.
No, I don't think so, because I think when they see me, they're like, oh shit, I didn't know you were that big. I didn't know you were actually big. They're probably expecting me with like little keyboard. I remember Chris Pugh when he actually, ironically, I was the one that made Chris Pugh do abs. I kept harassing him to do abs, but he thought the first time he came here, he'd have to fight me first before he lifted. He didn't really, like, he would say that what you see online versus in person is totally different.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean, like, in person, I can have the laugh, but you kind of get more context, because I think Eamon might have said this before too. He's like, Ger, you know, I get you, but these Americans don't.
Yeah.
It's America that's a big one.
Yeah.
He's like, they don't. So like, maybe
the humor is different as well to Irish humor.
Massively different. That's why me and my wife always conflict. Massively different context and I suppose tone, but these are things that is not, you know, portrayed online. But yeah, hopefully most people that see me online, I get on really well. Like Tom Martin, Chris Pugh, two that I would have notoriously harassed in my Instagram days. Get on really well with them. Actually, I would love to see Tom Martin come over and do abs. I think Delroy McQueen's doing this abs pro.
He's down
like
for
legends of powerlifting.
Yeah. Is Tom competing at the moment, or what's his story?
He's trying to put together like a prep.
Okay.
I think he usually just seems the wheels fall off a bit.
A lot of years on the clock.
I actually, 2018, I saw him lift in France at the Euros, and I'd never seen a man weigh 100 kilo and look so big, so 3D.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. He looked like a superhero character, and like I think he squatted 380 that day. Wow. Pulled 380 and he benches like 2. Like it's something like that. Like it's 980 total at 100, something like that. Anyway, something crazy. Genuinely like one of the best to ever do it. And now him seeing Luke and Dave having caught up, I'm hoping that might spark one more. I think he has one more great day in him.
Yeah.
And I'd love that to be here,
just
to see it in person. I'd love to see Graham Hicks come over and do a Clash. The Clash 3 lineup, I don't know if you were talking to Jay, it's looking to be the best. I always say one of the best, but the best powerlifting lineup that's ever been put together. Like some of the names that are down.
I'm assuming same guys as last year.
Same
plus
guys as
probably
last
some more
year.
Americans.
Colton, the South African.
Yeah.
John Hack.
Nice. He's doing Clash?
Yeah, he's doing Clash. He's going to do a head-to-head between himself and Colton to see who's the best. Frank Allen, hopefully coming over. Shane Haller. So a few of the guys doing Rumble are going to come over. I know Yuri Belkin's a name that Jay's always wanted. He's like Jay's hero for powerlifting. He thinks he's the GOAT. So if we get him over, that would be... there's probably no one else you could think of, really.
Not many anyway, no?
Yeah.
Hicksy in the middle of that would be good.
Yeah, Hicksy, yeah. So it'd be interesting. I think we're going to see a 1,200 total next year. 1,200 kilos next year, I believe. Yeah.
Future plans for Ger Buckley as an athlete? What are you thinking?
Well,
coming up soon, and then obviously over the next few years, what do you want to do?
Well, I've just won the Irish Strength Cup.
For anyone listening, the Irish Strength Cup is 3 days away.
I'm feeling good though. Win Natural Worlds, I have to win that. Just tick it off.
Yeah.
I should have won it last year. Well, I respect Joe Brown, he was class. But I was my own worst enemy that day. I'd love to have gone back in time and redo an event or two. I think I had the winning performance there and I just fumbled it. So they win this one for sure. And then I have a stone lifting comp. So I did the Irish stone lifting games. I won that. So I qualified for the Scotland one. We get to go on the nickel stones. So I'd like to beat the world record in that.
The original nickel stones?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that's another big goal this year. Because some of the names that have that record or have had that record, you know, likes of Luke, Tom Stoltman, I think Luke had it. The guy from America,
Kevin Ferris.
Kevin Ferris, yeah, I knew it was Kevin Ferris, and I think Chris Beatham or Lawrence Chalet might have it currently. But either way, again, all class strongman.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
So to have a crack, and I think I can do it. I think once I sit in the hook grip, genuine. I had a go of a smaller replica version, so it's just a matter of peaking for that higher weight. But I think it's 22 meters, 24 meters is the record.
Okay.
So I think I went 15 meters on the lighter ones, but I stopped just because I was like, there's no point going any further. So that's a big one. And then the Giants Live qualifier in October, and hopefully qualify for Britain's.
Yeah.
You know, it's that one's a big ask, but again, you gotta be in it to win it. I think I'm a lot better this year than I was last year when we did the qualifier.
Yeah.
I didn't really have I didn't have the right plan, didn't have the right focus. Obviously, with my new coach, yourself, I feel really good. So I think if I can put together a good plan and have a good day, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So that'd be a big one. Yeah, getting to Britain's Strongest Man would be so cool.
That'd be phenomenal.
Because I think half the lineup have me blocked, so it'd be pretty funny to just say like, hey.
They might unblock you after once they get to know you.
Yeah, that would be funny. Here, can I use your phone and just go into Instagram and unblock me? Just need to call me Matt. But yeah, just even getting over there would be an achievement. So that's it. Yeah.
Cool.
The ultimate goal, like the biggest goal for me, and it's kind of funny because I said it. I got interviewed after Ireland's, the guy from Off the Ball.
Yeah.
And they played my interview and Killian's interview, and after they played both of them, the presenters on the radio show were like, it's very interesting. The guy who came second has really small goals, but the guy who came first, you know, he wants the whole world, because I think Killian was like world's strongest man, etc.
Yeah.
I just want to win Ireland's strongest man. That's been it.
Yeah.
Really close in May. Next year, hopefully, or whatever year after, if it has to be. And in UK's.
I think like everyone would be in agreement, and I'm sure you would as well, that if we can get your overhead up to a decent level, then that's when you have the real shot, because that's where you historically have lost so many points at that level.
Yeah, I have a lot of work to do after that. Yeah, that'll be a big one. That's the missing piece, because like in fairness, guys like Killian, Sean Gillen and Pat, they're pretty well rounded. It's always been the overhead that's killed I'd stand toe to toe on nearly everything else. Deadlifts come up quite a lot, but it's just the overhead's so bad. And it doesn't help that I snapped my shoulder twice since I've started lifting.
Yeah.
Tore my rotator cuff twice. But it feels good again, so yeah, we'll see what this next chapter holds.
Yeah. So that's kind of your ultimate goal, really, is it?
For strongman, yeah. And then once I tick them off, because I'm with the powerlifting, I will go back one day. The thing with strongman, once my speed goes, I'm done pretty much, because like you say, like I rely quite a lot on my moving events. And in powerlifting, I think you hit your peak around 40 anyway. Yeah. So, you know, maybe myself and the wife will have a couple of kids. And with powerlifting, I find powerlifting is easier to prep for than strongman. It can be quite time consuming.
Yeah.
There's really no other way around it. It's like the kit and everything. There's
the setting up and everything.
It's a bit, yeah, and you need a team. You need a good crew. Like setting up a yoke on your own and farmer walk is zero crack.
Especially with the like, say you're getting ready for Natural Worlds.
Yeah, exactly.
And the cup, so you've got like, 9-10 events in total to be training for.
Whereas powerlifting is just the squat, bench, deadlift. You can do it in your garage. I know some of the best powerlifters in Ireland train in their sheds.
Yeah.
So yeah, down the line then powerlifting what would be the goal in that 900 in reps.
Yeah.
And maybe make one appearance at an abs pro. Probably not though, the standard is ludicrous. But do something anyway, yeah. And then after that, I don't know, I think I'll always train in the gym anyway. Like before it's funny, I mentioned it earlier, like people do this because like of the exposure, you know, we post our training lifts and everything. I kind of missed the time when I just went to the gym and just did it for myself, like the hotel days. I just went to the hotel gym, didn't know what the hell I was doing, but just enjoyed the pump and improving how I looked for myself.
It's actually currently just what I do because
but I missed that.
It's fun.
It is fun. Yeah, no, you probably missed the competitiveness.
I do, yeah.
But I missed the kind of like you lone ranger, lone man in a forest, pumping weight and for your own
I think
satisfaction.
there's a good argument there for like any powerlifter or strongman maybe to take a month away from their gym. And I tend to tell everyone in our place, we like the strongman that I coach, we all train as a team. December we break. I'm like, go somewhere else. And just go nuts on machines and stuff. Like again, it depends on whether you're doing a comp in January or whatever. It can which you can do, but it is good to get away and just go out on your own, do an incline chest press machine and max it out for an AMRAP or something, you know?
Because then you'll come back fresh, you know, because there is sensory overload, and there was a period there where I did leave abs because I'd been here every session 5 days a week and I just got a bit too much. You do need to try other gyms. I've been a member of probably like 10 now, 10 plus. But I always noticed the best training block would be the newer gym I join and the crew that I trained with. But with abs, because with the crew, like you have a great crew in Galway now. Well, you've had that for quite a while now.
We have a very solid crew.
That helps a lot.
There's always
because
one or two in and out here and there, but
you're lifting with friends. But even friends can get sick of each other.
Absolutely,
So even just a month or a good system I've noticed now in abs is you do your Thursday and Sunday session here, your big days, and Tuesday and Friday they go, you know, to a commercial gym nearby.
Okay, right.
There's one just across the way there, west side, just to change it up, and also the machines here aren't the best. It's fantastic powerlifting kit, but there's no real machines. So even just for your better accessories.
Cool. Future or advice to potential future strongmen or anyone wanting to get into strongman. We'll finish off on this. What would you say to young guys and girls looking to get into it?
Just do it. Like, there's so many opportunities now. Like the stone lifting has gotten very popular now. You can literally go outside and pick up a stone and lift it.
And get strong doing it.
And get strong. I suppose like it will be tough. Like strongmen in the summer is amazing. It really is a dream. You'll see who the real strongmen are in the winter months.
If you have to go outside and train in the rain.
And unfortunately, some big comps are on during winter periods, so you will have to train in the rain eventually. So yeah, just be ready for that period. But if you enjoy doing it, there's going to be events. The thing with strongmen is you will hate events, but you'll love others, and it's just a matter of trying to love more as you go on. Like there's events when I started where I was like, I hate that, but I actually like enjoy it now. The end goal is to just be the better athlete, be well-rounded. So. But if you are really good in events, don't keep training it because like you're just fooling yourself. Work on your weaknesses. But yeah, just join up. Like strongman, like I said a few years ago, we didn't have crews. Well, I did not on the this east side of the country. But now you have Dublin, you have Galway, up north has fantastic crews. And I think down in Wexford they still have something going. I think Dylan and Dean actually opened the gym. So whether you're north, south, east or west, you have somewhere to join. Advice, watching old World's Strongest Man videos. That would have been a big thing for me as I was doing my journey. When I'd be eating my food, I'd have an old Mariusz Pudzianowski winning whatever, 2004, 2006, 2007. And just seeing like how dynamic he moved, like that muscle mass, the strength and the speed. I was just in awe of it. And look, I'll never be a Mariusz, but I suppose it's setting some massive goal. Like if you reach for the stars, you land on the moon. So set a goal. It could be small to start off with, but just set something. It might not be strongman, but like just lifting in general. Be like, oh, I want to lift this, I want to put this much kilo on, or I want to lose body fat. I think actually the easiest way of losing body fat is doing something you enjoy. So strongman is because you're putting your focus on strongman events, and all of a sudden your goal of losing body fat has happened. So anyone can do strongman. Yeah.
Plus, like, you're a classic example of stick with it for long enough and you can achieve great things.
Yeah,
Like if someone sticks with it for 10 years and works hard, they can be the second strongest man in Ireland and eyeing up winning natural world's strongest man.
Yeah.
In 6 weeks' time, 7 weeks' time, you know.
It's like genetics is a big thing in all sports, but I have seen guys with the best genetics get beaten by just people that have just wanted it more.
Yeah.
Because even the guy with the best genetics, if he's not willing to put the work in, there's only so much your genetics are going to do. So yeah, just see what you can do. What's the quote? Be great. All the strongmen say it now. Be great.
Do they?
Be the best you.
I
Brian
haven't even noticed
Shaw
that.
and
Okay,
Mitchell
right.
Hooper. I don't know.
It's an American
it's
thing,
the
is
cool
it?
thing to say now. Be your best
Point at the
version.
camera and say that.
Be great. Oh yeah, I forgot we're on camera too. Be great. I'm there staring at my sandbags or our sandbags. But yeah, be your best version. When all's said and done, there'll be a day where we'll be struggling to squat onto a toilet. So at least you can say, look, I was the best version of me.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be superficial, like putting on muscle, but certainly, I don't know, strength is a huge thing in life. It's just one of those characteristics, isn't it? You know, so to go back and look back at years and be like, oh, you did that, showing your grandkids, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll leave it at that. Folks, thank you very much for listening. Subscribe to the channel and all that jazz, and we'll catch you on the next one.